Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Bad Psychics podcast. This episode we are focused on the upcoming 97th Academy Awards. I think it's 97th. I'm to try and do that from memory, which is never a good idea. I am your host Z. Joining me today, I predict that you best keep her husband's name out of your damn mouth. It's Cassie. And I predict that her massive head will be like Moonlight, but her opinions will be like La La Land. It's Eloise. Well, those two were like the ones that were swapped out the. No, they were swapped out the envelopes at the Oscars.
They were, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know.
Oh, gosh.
So, yeah, we're also joined by some background characters today. We've got, just out of shot, we've got Woody Harrelson. We've got Matthew McConaughey wandering around in a dress. And we've got Cass's actual offspring, who doesn't get a fancy film name. Anyway, excited to be back here with you two. Cass, are you much of a film buff?
I know a lot of trivia about films. I tend to stay away from films that depress me, which means that I haven't seen the majority of the Oscar-nominated films. But I know a lot of trivia about them, and I like to know about, like, the way that they're made and things like that. So I haven't seen many of them, but I know a lot about them.
Okay, perfect. Eloise, you studied film. So I'm assuming you're going to be the expert, absolutely right on everything that you say today.
No, because I don't watch enough films anymore. Like, it's very much a thing that I just don't really watch anymore. It's like, I know how to talk about film, and I know what I want to see in films, but I also get too overly analytical sometimes. So it's just, but okay. Yeah, I'm aware of things, but I'm not a very avid film watcher at the moment.
Okay, so we've got someone who doesn't watch films, somebody who knows trivia about films. I will say the last film I watched was Shrek 2 18 months ago. I am only here because nobody else could host this. We are in a lot of trouble. Do not come into this expecting any of us to be right. We won't be.
No.
We really won't be.
No.
Right.
If we are right, it's because of luck more than it is because of intelligence.
Yes, exactly. Right. I'm gonna switch to our fancy screen once again. Still calling the Google Sheet in a hole in the page a fancy screen, but you know, it's fine. As you can see, we've got a number of categories here, some fairly normal ones, some more off the beaten track ones, and I think we'll have some fun with it. First of all, let's start with Best Picture. So none of us agree here. I'm going to come to Cass last because I have a feeling there might be a recurring theme to Cass's answers. So I've gone for Brutalist. My logic is I have seen that it has won some awards in some of the other film festival thingies. I happened to know that Adrian Brody's quite a good actor, and stuff that he ends up in tends to do pretty well. And I vaguely followed the plot on a Wikipedia article, and I went, that looks like the sort of guff that ends up winning Oscars. So that's my logic. That's the level of insight you are going to get from me today. Eloise, Honora, why Honora?
So the theme I started off with my guesses was I'd look at the odds and just kind of go from there. So it is the odds-on favourite, according to lots of bookmakers, and so I was like, okay, they know what they're talking about. I mean, it's very it's one of the films that was more nominated, so it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was generally just because of the odds. I won't say it any other way.
Okay, so no comment on the film whatsoever.
It's a film which it's about Russian people. That's everything.
That's great knowledge from our resident film major.
Oh, this is
definitely not major, but I used to study film. Yes.
Oh, right.
What an episode! What a start to an
episode! This is absolute chaos. I mean, Eloise, I'm assuming that if you'd had a choice, you would have put Sonic 3.
Yeah, Sonic 3. Yes, the film the film I saw last. It was good. Why isn't Jim Carrey up for an Oscar? Yeah. Why?
Why? It's just shameful. Comedy erasure.
Yeah, I assume probably Mr. Deadline. That's probably why.
Yeah.
And also because it's too childish or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Right. Cass, I have a feeling we might be getting a lot of answers about how much you love Wicked.
Absolutely.
But let's start with Best Picture.
Sorry. Don't come on the screen, tiny human.
Yes, tiny human.
as
a different tiny human just appears in the background.
So many tiny humans.
She's not trying to. Oh, cat. So I did pick Wicked. Yeah.
Yes. Is that just because you've seen it?
It's because it's kind of a maybe if I speak it into existence hard enough, it'll actually happen. Because Wicked is one of the few films that are nominated for Best Picture that are going to actually bring some joy. It's actually going to bring you some joy rather than leaving you feel heavy and depressed, which most Oscar-nominated Best Pictures admittedly do. They still could be great movies, but they're depressing and they're sad. Wicked is not, and it is a joy, and I've loved it for forever. So maybe if I wish hard enough, Wicked will take it.
Okay. I mean, I think you might be wishing into the wind, but we'll
probably.
We'll see what happens.
Most likely. Yeah.
Let's move this on to Best Director. We once again have 3 different answers. Let's start with Cass this time. James Mangold, is that who directed Wicked?
No, the director of Wicked was not nominated for Best Director.
Okay. Right, so which film did James Mangold direct? Because I've already forgotten.
So have I.
A complete unknown.
Oh, yes. It's the Timothy Chalamet one. And
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
What's his face?
He's in hot contention for best actor. So, you know.
Yes. Okay.
Which I didn't know when I made my selection, but you know, it was mostly because I'd heard of it, and it seemed reasonable that it was a good director. Because he was nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, no, I have my notes back up now, which will help. I was looking at them, I went, there are some names there, and I have no idea what they mean. I should probably get my notes back up.
Yes.
Good. Excellent start. Eloise, you've gone Sean Baker, who obviously everybody knows was the director of Honora.
Common knowledge. Yeah.
Is this odds again, or are you just okay?
Odds on. It makes sense that the best director would be the one with the best picture, but
yeah. I don't know how often
it makes sense.
I don't know how often there's actually a.
No idea.
I really want that stat now. Like the best.
Hang on, right? I tell you what. I'm actually going to look into this because God knows we need to pad this out with some sort of knowledge.
I mean, I could do tangents later. It's all right.
I tell you what. You look at who's won Best Director recently. I'll go to the Best Picture ones and we can see if they match.
Right.
Okay, so best picture last year was Oppenheimer. Did
okay, let me. I've got up now. Okay, so last year, Christopher Nolan, who directed Oppenheimer, won.
Okay, so the year before that, the film was Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, that their directors won that.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah.
And the year before that was Coda.
Okay, no, it was 2021 was Jane Champion who did The Power of the Dog, which I've not heard of.
Oh,
you haven't heard of that one?
See,
Nope.
I genuinely thought The Power of the Dog had won the Oscar that year, and I have never heard of Coda, so...
What about the 2020 one?
2020 Nomadland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matches up.
So, okay. I mean, I think we've
and then
done...
before that, I know 2019 was Parasite. And,
yeah, Parasite was best.
And the director, so it basically matches up.
Okay, fine.
Most of the time.
Okay, well, in which case, at least mine match, and mine match just basically because I kind of had a similar logic, but I did genuinely consider looking at the betting odds, but my problem was I thought if anybody else does this, it's going to make for a really boring episode. And then Eloise did that, so I'm glad that I just basically stuck some pins.
It's a good guess.
Yeah, as I say, it does feel like The Brutalist has been getting a lot of the attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So
it's gonna be one or the other basically. Like I'm pretty sure it'll be either The Brutalist or Honora will win everything. So
yeah, I mean, I have seen some people saying that it could the best picture could be Conclave, but
yeah,
I don't. I will say this is like kind of dark, but also a genuine thought. Obviously, the real life Pope is in hospital right now. If the Pope snuffs it, does that improve or worsen the chances of Conclave winning at the Oscars?
I'm now thinking if I want to change my bonus question. Does the Pope croak it?
Good.
Very highbrow conversation we're having here.
Look, I would argue that the impact of theology on award ceremonies is a fairly highbrow.
Yeah, I think if you want my honest answer, yeah, it probably would. It probably would help it.
Okay.
Can we pause for just a second? Because apparently I have a 4-year-old who did not successfully poop in the potty.
Oh no!
So, no,
Okay.
he's in a pull-up, which that's why he's in a pull-up, because pooping in the potty is not his not his jam.
Okay, I won't leave that in the episode.
You can. I was like, I have no shame about this.
Good content.
Neither does
Mom life.
Neither does he. Okay. Right. We now have Cass back from her duties. Should we go with that?
Yes.
Woody Harrelson is now joining us in person. Thank you, Woody. Big fan of your movies. He's looking very perplexed. He's like, someone's a fan? I don't get it. Anyway, let's move on to Best Actor. Okay, so this is the first time that we have some agreement. I mean, Eloise, I figure your rationale is probably going to be similar to mine, so I'll let you go first.
Well, first off, he's odds on. Second off, it also makes the most sense from what I've seen, and just kind of common sense that I think that he'd probably win. I think that's all I have to say, because I think it's either him or Timothy Chalamet. So I'm not sure how many awards that film will get. So that's why I was a bit hesitant of doing Timothy, but that's my analysis, my amazing analysis.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Adrian Brody has become one of those actors that when I see that he's been in a film, I assume that it will be like well received. He's like he's not quite like Daniel Day-Lewis levels, but it's getting to that point where it's like he pops up, he does film, everyone loves film.
That's accurate.
I'm glad Woody agrees.
That was a proper agreement there.
Yes.
Oh my god, so adorable.
Right, Cass, you've gone for Sebastian Stan for his portrayal of your Chief What's-It.
What's it? Okay, good. I get it.
That took you a minute. Chief Cheeto, if you prefer.
Yeah, Cheeto works.
Yes.
Why? Any?
Really, my only logic is I love Sebastian Stan, and not a big fan of other things about that movie that the movie is about. So, it's wishful. It might be wishful thinking, but Sebastian Stan is a fantastic actor, and he definitely deserves for this to happen at some point. Why not now, when he's portraying, the angry orange man? Makes total sense.
Yeah,
you like my answer. Yeah.
I can't help but feel that there is no chance in hell that they will let a less than glowing portrayal of the current president win the Oscar. If
Probably not, but it would be amazing if they did.
it would. I appreciate your commitment to answering what you want to happen, even though, like,
The odds are terrible.
yeah, like the survival episode we did, I'm like, I don't know who's going to win. I don't know who's going to lose. I'm pretty confident you are not going to win the Oscars one, Cass.
No, I knew that coming into this, but I figured I could at least, provide the uneducated, wishful thinking.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Right. Let's move on to Best Actress. Okay. We've got an agreement on the other side now. Eloise, I'm assuming this is betting odds.
Nope.
Oh. Okay.
It is not. The betting odds is definitely not going this way. I just like her.
Okay.
Yeah, I who's the, I'm trying to find who the. It's the betting odds are favouring Demi Moore, who is in Substance. That's who's probably going to get it, but yes, I won't move Cynthia Erivo because she's great. Yeah,
Okay.
that's all I have to say.
Fair enough.
I'll let Cass give more.
Yeah. Cass, would you
Input.
like to wax lyrical in an additional fashion about Cynthia Erivo?
I mean, Cynthia Erivo took over a role that literally, like, I grew up loving Idina Menzel and her voice in that role. And I was not 100% sure that anybody could fill those shoes. And not only did Cynthia Erivo fill those shoes, but she may have actually, like, made it better. And I didn't think that was possible. So she at least met Idina Menzel's level, if not exceeded it, which is a near impossible task with the level of talent that Idina brought to that role originally. So, and plus, like, I think that she brought something to a role that a lot of people are really familiar with that was really special. And she helped you understand this character in a way that I think other actresses would not have been able to pull off.
Okay.
And honestly, like, a film that brings delight, once again, The Substance, I've heard, is, like, incredibly depressing and gory, which, honestly, Demi Moore definitely deserves an Oscar. Like, it sounds like she acted her butt off in that movie. So if she wins it, that will be a good thing. But, like, I can't help but go. But this movie is so joyful, and Cynthia Erivo is incredible.
Okay. Fair enough. I went for Mikey Madison. Here's my. This might be my, like, most well worked through logic for any answer. Which is annoying given the fact that it sounds from the bookies' odds like I'm wrong.
I mean, it's very close. So
Okay.
it's very close between the two. So you're definitely not very wrong.
Okay. So I'm Still Here, Fernando Torres. I hadn't even heard of that film, so I was like, at least usually films I've kind of heard of them in the background somewhere. Wicked has been very divisive. Lots of people love it, lots of people don't. So I'm like, I feel like they're trying to appease the people who like it by nominating them. I don't think it's going to win an awful lot, if I'm honest. Demi Moore, I vaguely read the premise of The Substance. I know that historically horror-type films don't do great at the Oscars. So I was like, it's not a hard, sure rule. We've got a very loud Will.
Will, sir.
Anyway, so yeah, I ruled that out, and then I was left with Sofia Gascon for Emilia Perez or Mikey Madison for Honora. Unfortunately, some stuff has been made about some historical tweets that Sofia Gascon has made. This is a comedy podcast. I'm not going to step too in depth onto those. However, I do think that they are probably going to cost her a shot at the Oscar. And so that left me with Mikey Madison. I can't say that it was a particularly confident call. It just felt like the best reasoned argument I could give. So if that comes, that's probably the one I most want to happen because I actually thought about it. But yeah, right. Let's move on. We've got best supporting actor now. We're all in agreement. Kieran Culkin. Cass, this isn't anything to do with Wicked, so why don't you start?
Mostly because I've heard a lot about this particular film and the efforts that were made, like the lengths that were gone to get it made, and the dedication of the actor. Like it just seems like this was a movie that the people who made it really cared about. And I've heard a lot of fantastic things about Kieran Culkin in that role. So, I mean, really, there wasn't a whole lot of logic in there. It was just mostly that I've heard a lot about it, and I've heard a lot of glowing reviews about Kieran in particular.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say if you can, like, take as heavy a subject matter as A Real Pain's premise, and to turn that into not only like a comedy drama, but also like an appreciated comedy drama, like that to me feels like a real sort of fine line to cut. I'm genuinely surprised with how many good things I've heard about the film that it's not up for Best Picture. I was a bit confused with why that would be, but I don't know enough about these things to question it. Eloise, is this the odds, or is this?
Yeah, I've gone back to relying on the odds because I had no clue. This one seems probably the most nailed on out of the all of the categories. So this seems almost like an obvious call waiting to happen. So yeah, it's I can't say anymore.
We might be right about this prediction.
Yes.
There is a slim chance you might be right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Better than most of the chances on most of these, so I will take it.
Yeah, we might be
I
right.
might be right on one.
Yeah, we might be right, but equally we're all right, so it does none of us any good when it comes to the scoring.
Fair.
But yes, right. Let's move on to best supporting actress. We've got two Ariana Grandes. I Cass, why have you gone for Ariana Grande?
You know, you know, she's Ariana Grande. Like, I don't know. There's she's amazing. Like, I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of her going into this movie, and I walked out of it at the very least loving her in this role, like adoring her in this role. So, I mean, in other things, I'm not sure, but in this, I'm like, she killed it. She killed it. So that was my logic.
Okay. Eloise.
She's Ariana Grande.
Is this odds? Is this just you?
No. I'm once again not going with odds on this one.
Okay. Yeah.
Go with your heart.
Yeah. With the two actresses with Wicked, I just like, yeah, I'll just go with them. I know it's not gonna happen. I'll just go with them. Yeah, because the odds is very much favoring your pick, Z.
Okay. Yeah. So my logic was Zoe Saldana. I saw that she'd won either at the BAFTAs or the Globes. I can't remember which. Possibly even both. But also, I think, again, without getting too deep onto it, I think the reasons that there might not be a Best Actress award going to someone for Emilia Perez, I think that it's still a film that the Academy are wanting people to pay attention to, and so I feel like possibly the best way that they can do that is with the Supporting Actress Award. That's my gut feeling. I again could be absolute rubbish, but I'm pleased to see that I'm at least vaguely in line with the bookies on a couple of things. Let's move it on to best animation. Okay, we're back to all being different. I'll start with the Wild Robot. I have seen a bit about most of the films in this category. The Wild Robot, it felt like it was the one that not only when I saw like trailers and stuff, I was like, that actually looks like a good premise for a film, but also it does seem to be very well received, and I know that reception for some of the others has been a bit more divisive. Oh, Woody, you're back.
Woody's back.
Oh yeah, he's been on my lap the whole time, just playing.
Okay. Yes. So I think, yeah, I again, I mean, I was about to say I don't know what the bookies think. Eloise, any betting insights, or is this just because you've seen it?
I hate that I'm now like the betting one, which I'm not a big fan of betting, but I don't definitely gamble safe if you do, but
yes, agreed.
But the favorite is the Wild Robot, so that makes sense. No, so my choice with Wallace and Gromit is because I've seen it. And I mean, I'd kind of feel weird if I didn't go with it, because I love Wallace and Gromit. I love Vengeance Most Foul. It's just incredible. Like, and it's just I know it's not like on merit or like on like achievement. It's basically the best film, but like, I mean, the others are computer generated. This is clay. I mean, there's no no comparison there. It's just
Yeah.
miles more impressive. But no, Wallace and Gromit: Adventures with Fowl was amazing, and I hope they get at least something. I think they've nominated for a couple, so I hope, but they probably won't, unfortunately. But
okay, I still haven't seen it, and I do love Wallace and Gromit. I just I haven't gotten around to it yet. So that might take over from Shrek 2 as being the last film I've watched, which is
you should.
Yeah.
You should watch it. Definitely. Like it's not the best, but it's hard to be the best Wallace and Gromit film. But like, it's up there. Like it's really good. So
okay.
I definitely would recommend.
Okay.
For sure.
I shall bear that in mind. And Cass, if we can distract you from our good friend Woody Harrelson, you've gone for Inside Out 2. Any particular reason?
Actually, yeah, this one has kind of a cute story attached to it. So, I've mentioned that I'm a mother. Okay, sir, you can't have my phone. You can't have it. That's why I've been fighting with him. He has made like 15 plays for my phone. And I'm afraid he's gonna win at some point. Very determined little guy. You stinker.
Yeah, Woody's just trying to make a move into directing.
You silly boy. No, so Inside Out 2, my middle child is 5 years old, almost 6. She'll actually be 6 next child. You can't have my earrings either. Don't give me that face. Sorry. Woody Harrelson is adorable, but also in a very good mood, which makes him very distracting. Yes.
Woody Harrelson's getting a bit handsy. He needs to watch it for the sake of his career.
He's trying.
He's going rogue.
He's trying to.
Can the name of the episode be Woody Harrelson Goes Rogue?
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that.
He likes that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that title, huh? Is that a funny one? Yeah, it's a good one. No. So my middle child, though, was asking for months when Inside Out 2, because he'd watched clips of it on different, on kids' YouTube, and had decided that he was obsessed. He was obsessed. And weeks and weeks and weeks, every day, he was having me check if it had come out on Disney Plus yet. And when it finally did, I have a video of him watching it and literally just jumping with joy. He's running back and forth to and from the couch, and he's looking at it, and then he's jumping because he's so excited. And it was the cutest thing I've ever seen. It was his favorite movie for months. He kept calling it Inside Out Chapter 2, which was adorable.
Okay.
And his favorite character used to be Anxiety, but now it is Envy, because Envy is his favorite color, green.
Okay.
So that one really, I have no idea what the chances are, but with that personal connection and with me seeing my 5-year-old's face every time I think of that movie, just couldn't pick anything else.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I have heard a lot of people say it's not that good a film, but that doesn't outweigh the cuteness.
Yeah,
the cuteness of my child, yeah.
I very much need to watch it. I really enjoyed the original. The original was incredible. I just need to watch Inside Out too. But yeah.
Okay. Right. So we are moving on to most awards. So this is the film that we think will have the most awards, not just from the ones that we've put on screen, altogether the most awards, and It's matched our shouts for Best Picture. So I'm not sure we're going to get a great deal of content out of this. Right. Next up, we have the monologue category. This is any one or anything that we think is guaranteed to get a mention in Conan O'Brien, who is hosting this year's monologue. I will say, Cass, you have once again gone slightly away from what I was expecting. I thought everyone was going to put a name. You put 3 down.
I did.
Would I again? I feel like I'm prepared to make you an offer for the scoring. We can either do that. You choose one of them in particular to commit to, or I'm willing to give you triple points if all 3 of the names you've brought up make it into the monologue. Which would you rather?
Oh, I mean, is anybody gonna be surprised when I stick with my 3? I'm also fairly, like, this one I'm actually fairly confident about, so...
Okay, so...
I can't remember what I answered, but I'm fairly confident about it.
Well, you said Demi Moore, Ariana Grande, and Jonathan Bailey will all get a mention. And so you're sticking with that, and you think all 3 of them will be?
Yes, and I can explain my logic behind each one. I think Demi Moore is definitely going to get mentioned because she's really made a comeback with this film.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody has been saying how much she deserves this and how amazing she is. So I think, and especially with the topic of the film, I think that there is a very good chance that she gets a mention in this. And then Ariana Grande, she's had a lot of controversy surrounding her personal life regarding that film. But also, I think people have been very pleasantly surprised that somebody who is mostly known for her singing career was as good at being Glinda as Ariana was.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jonathan Bailey, I think, is going to get a mention just because Conan is a comedian. And I have seen so many memes about Jonathan Bailey because, like, what is it? The meme that I saw was like how many times, has Jonathan Bailey been dressed in Regency attire, riding a horse, and comes across a woman in the woods? And the response was twice, but it's weird that it's happened twice.
Okay.
Yeah, so like very specific because with Bridgerton, and he even has the same horse that he used in Bridgerton. So like,
interesting.
There were a lot of people that were there were a lot of people that were laughing about that because, and again, like there's a lot of funny things about one of the best romantic leads of the year being gay. Like I honestly love that. Like it's a loss for the female population for sure, but it is definitely a gain for the queer. So I was swooning watching him in Wicked, I will tell you that. So yeah, I think that's definitely going to get a mention just because so many people thought it was funny that he's now been typecast.
Okay. See, I think Jonathan Bailey is the one that might trip you up because, as far as I can see, he is not nominated even tangentially for anything.
I think he is. I thought he was.
He's definitely not an acting one. Maybe. I don't believe there's... You could argue maybe tangentially for original score because he does do some singing. but I don't believe. So I'm like, I think Demi and Ariana, you're probably right. I think Jonathan Bailey might trip you up, but if it comes off, it might be your chance to close the gap. Eloise, you went for Timothy Chalamet. What's the rationale?
I mean, so I was very confused by the question, and I kind of then sort of figured out that it would just be like kind of referencing people and trying to make jokes.
Yes.
So I just thought that because Timothy is quite big as an actor at the moment, and quite like pop culture kind of is quite well known. So I just thought that'd be an easy kind of mention for him. Like, yeah. It just felt the most sensible one to put down, so I thought, why not?
So I went for Ryan Reynolds, and I did consider, for the Timothy Chalamet logic, going for Kylie Jenner, because I thought I feel like it's always 50-50 whether they mention the actual people who are up for prizes, because they don't want to like necessarily dig at them. So I was trying to go like adjacent. So I did consider Kylie Jenner because, you know, she won't stop smooching Timothy Chalamet despite them looking like mother and son. But
I need to look at this now.
Ryan Reynolds, here's my thinking. Again, I have to like kind of tiptoe around some more serious stuff a little bit.
Yep.
Which is that I don't think they're necessarily going to make jokes about the whole Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni thing. I do think that the way you can potentially get around that, and I know that SNL did this with their 50th anniversary show last weekend.
Yeah, they did.
Was to have like a little tap at Ryan Reynolds instead. And so I think that might happen, especially given SNL already did it, so it's kind of like you kind of go, well, this is safe territory now. So that is my logic, but I'm not confident. I just hope whatever the monologue is, it's funny. But Eloise told us that she doesn't think Conan O'Brien is funny. So. You know, and
the Eloise response.
Yes, we did say last time Eloise's primary contribution, noises in response to points.
Yeah.
It's the quintessential Eloise is what it is at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe the giggle can be the quintessential Eloise. I don't know, because that's kind of adorable.
I don't have any more input, so I just
little.
It's adorable. It's killing me. Eloise is like, I'm turning purple. Shut up.
It's like I'm literally just I mean, it's not that much of a change.
Yes. Going from Moonhead to Beetroot.
That's my name now.
Title. To Beetroot.
No, for now I'm sticking with Woody Harrelson's going rogue. Right, okay. Next up, we've got dress colour. Okay, interesting. This is very, very, very simple. Is what coloured dress will the winner, whoever that winner is, of the Best Actress Oscar be wearing? I went gold because I think a lot of people decide they're going to dress like an Oscars statuette. I think in the same way Cass picks Wicked because she wants it to come true, I think actresses dress as an Oscar to try and manifest it into existence. Eloise, you went silver, which feels gold adjacent.
Yeah, it feels kind of logical, just kind of going like either like gold, silver, or like I don't know what's another one like black, but that's a bit boring. So red, that's really like
Bronze.
And then you got like the more unique ones, but I'd say those are like the more generic colors you'd expect. So
okay,
silver made sense.
Yeah.
It was very much a shot in the dark. I didn't put much thought into it, but
yes,
it makes sense to me.
Cass, you went green. You've not gone down the dressing like a statuette route at all. Any particular reason you chose green?
I mean, at this point, my logic should not be a surprise. But I'm hoping that Cynthia Erivo wins the Best Actress, and I think that given the fact that Wicked is such a beloved movie, whether it wins or not, I think that the odds of her wearing green to the Oscars as just a nod at Elphaba, I think, are pretty decent. So again, like, I'm probably going to get this wrong because I know that the odds are pretty stacked against her winning this, but like, I was gonna stick to my guns and say that if Cynthia Erivo wins, I'm pretty sure Cynthia Erivo ain't gonna be wearing silver or gold. She's gonna be wearing emerald green.
I can't believe that I hadn't processed that was the logic.
You didn't?
No.
You didn't see it was obvious.
No.
I looked on immediately.
Yes.
I was just like, oh, green. That's an interesting choice. Okay.
Yeah,
You've been giving me crap about my Wicked obsession this
I know.
entire episode.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sad for you that you missed that chance to dig at me for that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I have never said that I am a bastion of intelligence.
The bastion of intelligence, Z.
Yeah. No, that was yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense now.
I'm fully expecting Ariana to also show up in pink. So
yeah,
it would be very cool if they did that.
Do you think?
I agree.
Do you think that there's any so that it's not? Do you think there's any chance that Cynthia turns up in pink and Ariana turns up in green, and
No.
it's kind of a you know,
Got you.
I think there's a chance, but I don't think so. I think that they both like have such a personal connection to their characters. I just don't see that happening. Like, they may not wear pink or green, but I don't see it being reversed.
Okay, I just, I thought maybe it would be like an homage to their co-star, like some sort of positive thing. Oh, Woody's back. Woody's chewing. What is Woody chewing?
On some random thing he found, and on a treat.
Okay.
Let's not have the paper with the treat.
Who knew that Woody was such a demanding actor? his PA needs to stop him eating paper. Right. Let's move on to. So this one isn't completely Oscars-ish. This is Oscars adjacent. This is Golden Raspberries. Obviously, a couple of days before the Oscars every year, the Razzies happens, and I have asked which film is going to get the most awards at the Razzies. All three of us have gone for different answers. I'll start with Megalopolis. It's really hard to say.
It's such a bad title. Like, seriously.
Such a bad title.
It's so hard to say.
Yeah.
Megalopolis.
Yes.
Such a pain.
Yeah. I don't understand. Like, it takes us, in case anybody hasn't, like, I haven't seen the film, but I am aware of how terrible its reputation is. Let me read the ensemble cast to you. Adam Driver, Giancarlo Esposito, Natalie Emmanuel, Aubrey Plaza, Sheila Buff, John Voight, Lawrence Fishburne, Talia Shire, Jason Schwartzman, Catherine Hunter, Grace Vanderwaal, Chloe Fineman, James Remar, D.B. Sweeney, and Dustin Hoffman. How do you take that cast and $136 million budget and end up making 14 million? And that's not profit. That's how much it made. It made a $122 million loss with that cast.
Wow. Yeah, yeah.
Like, that is going to be studied for, like, generations to come. Like, it's got to be, like, if it turns out in a few years' time that it was actually just like a big front for money laundering, that will make the most sense to me. How do you take that cast and get it so wrong? I don't understand. It's an absolute madness. It has the second most nominees at the Razzies, I think. I think only Joker 2, whatever it's called, Folie de, or whatever it is.
Yeah, Folie de.
Has more, but even if I turn out to be wrong, I just wanted to, like,
You're
yell.
not that. Even if you're wrong, you're not that wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of Joker 2, Cassie.
Boogaloo.
Yes, you went for that. Any particular reason?
Fall from Grace. I mean, like, Joker, the first Joker was like, everybody seemed to love it or hate it. I mean, not my cup of tea, but, like, I heard that a lot of people really, really loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a similar logic to Megalopolis. Like, how do you take a film that has Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga and, like, make a crap movie? And that seems like that's exactly what happened. I mean, that one makes maybe a little bit more sense than Megalopolis, because I feel like both the main actors can tend towards taking roles a little bit too seriously. I think that might have been part of the problem with this movie, is that they took roles that are really should not be that serious and took them a little too seriously rather than a little tongue-in-cheek. And I think that might have been what happened, but I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know. But given the list of, nominations it got, I felt like there was a fairly good shot that it was gonna bag a lot of awards.
Yeah, I mean, I can't help but feel like actors should have learnt not to go too method into acting as the Joker since Heath Ledger. Like, doesn't go well.
Ledger did a good job. It's the one after him.
Oh, what? Jared Leto.
Jared Leto that really took it to. Heath Ledger did a fantastic Joker at the very least.
Yes.
Jared Leto just.
Heath Ledger
went
did.
Method, but like.
Yes. But Heath Ledger did a fantastic Joker, and then had driven himself literally mad doing it. So, I'm like, I mean, at least Jared Leto at least. Jared Leto just...
maintained the sanity that he had.
Well, I was going to say drove other people mad instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Morbius man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eloise, you went for Borderlands.
Yep.
Any?
I just wanted a chance to talk about Borderlands because it was just. I mean, I haven't watched it on purpose because as soon as I heard that they were making a Borderlands, I'm like, oh no, like
Okay.
there's like a track record with video game films, video game adaptations that are made into films, and it's just a lot of them are just awful.
Yeah.
And this very much did not break the mold. Yeah, so it's also a great cast with alright, so Kevin Hart, Jack Black, Edgar Ramirez, Ariana Greenblatt, Florian
Montiano.
Yeah, sorry, I have bad eyesight. Gina Gershon and Jamie Lee Curtis, to name a few, and so the budget was 110 million to 120 million, and in box office they made $33 million. So a massive loss. And I mean, one of the main things I can think of, like, to justify this film being awful is there's that very, very infamous scene where they're like a valve, and they open the valve up, and they're all like surrounding it, looking down, and you can see as they're all like surrounding it, looking down at the camera, you could see just behind the valve entrance, you could see one of the production cast who was just there, like holding it open for them. They hadn't edited that person out. So they were still in shot. So
good.
Just really, really, really poor. Just like that. That's a no-no.
God.
That is a big no-no. And yeah, they just left it in without even seeing it or without a care. So
somehow they missed that with the budget they had. Yeah.
With let me just repeat, 110 to 120 million dollars spent. So yeah, that's I think. I generally just wanted to bring up how bad Borderlands was, and I hope it gets a few, because I saw there's like, I know Jack Black is mentioned in a bunch of these, like, because he apparently did a bad job. So
I love Jack Black.
I know, me too. But yeah, so yeah, that's my pick.
Okay. Yeah, I think that feels very reasonable. Okay, and then finally, as always, I say as always, it will be as always. We're only on episode 2, so you're not that used to it yet. But as always, we finish with our bonus category. The points on offer within our competition will be agreed by the participants. At risk of upsetting Cass here, I have said that I think Wicked will win under 50% of its nominations. That's my.
It doesn't upset me because you know what? It doesn't upset me because I have willed you being wrong into existence. So I'm not upset because you will be wrong.
Cass is like, I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed.
I'm not upset at you. I will be upset. I will not. But you have no control over this. But actually, Wade, I might be a little upset at you because you might be speaking your thing into existence over mine, and I don't want.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, to be fair, it's not like I talk louder than you. So.
Well, you know. We were both pretty even contenders when we met for most talkative, so I don't know.
But yeah, I'll let you two have a discussion for a moment to decide how many points that'll be if it happens.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I'm trying to think. 'Cause it's kind of a. It could happen. It's not the most out there thing, but also it very much could not happen. Like, for all we know, there could be a wicked sweep and they win everything. So,
I think there's a decent chance of Z being right, but I'm not
Mhm.
sure. So, ooh, I would say because I'm pretty on the fence whether he's right or not. I say like 5 if right, 5 if not.
yeah,
Like,
I was thinking 5-2. So
okay,
could it be 5 wrong minus 3 if wrong? 5 if right
yeah,
minus
5
3
if
if wrong.
right. I think yeah.
Okay, I will bite your hand off for that. I accept those terms.
Yeah, that might be too much. Now I'm thinking of it, but yeah, 5. 5.
Eloise, you've gone for a poorly done reference to the Will Smith slap.
Yeah.
If this was last year, I would have been like, oh, 100%. This year, I think, with the extra year past, I do think like.
Yeah.
I think because you've said just a reference, which means that it could be done obliquely. I think it's maybe slightly more likely than not.
Yeah.
So in my head, I was thinking 4 up, 4 down on that one because I think there's a good chance of it happening.
Yeah, I say, what if we continue with the trend and let's go 4 up, 2 down?
Okay,
Maybe?
we
Like,
can
go
do
2
4.
less.
Yeah, okay, we can do 4 up, 2 down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
I'll take that. That's more than
Okay.
it's not much risk.
Yeah.
It's good.
Cassie, you have not actually written a prediction down. You've asked a question.
I do have a prediction. But I had an idea for mine that could make this kind of interesting.
Okay, interesting. Well, you wrote down who will have the most self-congratulatory winning speech. It's your job to answer that so that we can.
So I do have an answer for that, but my question is, do you guys want to get in on this? So my thought was that if I'm right, because this is my question, I get more points if right and more points if wrong than you guys will. But if you guys want to chime in, you could potentially get some points plus or minus if you wanted to try at this one.
Ooh.
That was my thought.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I will need to get a definition of what we are classing as a self-congratulatory winning speech.
The one that makes you feel like you want to roll your eyes the hardest because they're talking about how much work they put into this and how labor intensive, and this was my dream, things like that, where they really don't talk much about the other people involved, where it's mostly talking about themselves. And usually there's one or two that stand out as being particularly, pat myself on the back.
Yeah.
Not very humble. I did this on my own kind of speeches. And I mean, I have my guess for who that will be. And I'm happy to lay it on the line. I think I'm willing to go big. I think if I'm right, I should get 10. If I'm wrong, I should get 10. So that's what I'm saying. I'm willing to bet big on this. I think that if you guys want to join in, you could do something like 5 up, 5 down, or 3 up, 3 down,
Yeah.
if you're right. Yeah, so that's kind of my thought process that, because this is my bet, I either win big or lose big based on it, but you guys could take this as an opportunity to potentially win yourselves bonus points by getting in on this. So really, like, my potential up or down is going to be very similar to what yours is if you're right as well.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
It makes sense. I like that Cass is the first person to both waylay the format and also tell other people what what she thinks she deserves.
I'm trying to simplify this.
I
put my money where my mouth is.
I mean, I feel like I can't agree to give you to 10 up or to 10 down until I know who you think it's going to be, because there are some people I'd be like, oh yeah, that's like a given.
I think that it's going to be Adrian Brody. He's come across to me as very much an Oscar chaser method actor. There's also the added scandal of potentially that there might be a little bit of he might deserve his win less because there were AI elements used to enhance his performance that a lot of actors have been kind of ticked off about.
Interesting.
So, I think he doesn't come across as somebody who can laugh at himself very easily, and I could totally be wrong about this, but it doesn't seem like he does fun movies. He does the very serious, Oscar contender movies, like we've already kind of said. So I think he's got a really good chance of, if he wins. I don't anticipate a lot of humility. And okay. I don't anticipate a lot of acknowledgement of potential AI assistance if he does.
I certainly don't think he'd give a shout out to AI, because that would be weird. But he does strike me as very serious. But I don't know that I'd necessarily go with self-congratulatory. I could go with.
I could totally be wrong on this, but
I think 10 up, 10 down might be a slight stretch in my mind. I'd go 8 up, 8 down willingly.
7?
8 up, 7 down. Meet you go that way with it.
I was thinking maybe 7 up, 7 down, and then if someone wanted to give a guess, 3 up, 3 down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my problem is I don't know who I'd guess. That's the honest truth. Is I'm going, who would I say that I both think has a chance
at winning? Yeah.
And
would not be very humble about it.
Yeah. So I'm kind of. I think from my perspective, partially for that reason, partially strategically, I'm gonna stay out of it. I'm not getting involved. I'll take my points on merit. Cass, we've lost half of your head. We now have just a lot of Woody. There we go.
What were you thinking about, Z?
For goodness sake. Eloise, are you joining in with Cass's prediction, or is Cass on her own?
I'm getting the same kind of conflict of I want to, because it'd be fun, I suppose, but also I don't know who. Like, it's hard. It's hard when I'm not sure what some of these people are like. So it's very.
Yeah.
So I think I'll play it safe and not, because
Okay.
I just don't think there's one that jumps out to me that I think will win the
Yes.
award.
We have resisted.
I don't know how we've resisted, but we
The
resisted.
temptation.
Yeah. It's like it would. I think it would have been more tempting if the most logical answer to give wasn't Cass's answer.
Yeah.
But
I did think it through pretty good.
Yeah. So
For once.
Yeah, but we'll go. I think if neither of us are in, I think we should say 8 up, 7 down. Eloise, just
I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So there we have it. That is all our categories. Well, I was going to say decided. They're not really decided. They've just been predicted by a trio of idiots who haven't watched a single one of the films.
A single film ever.
Oh no, Cass has watched Wicked a lot, seemingly, and Eloise watched Wallace and Gromit, which might be relevant for one answer.
And Sonic 3. I can talk about Sonic 3. Do you want me to talk about Sonic 3?
And unfortunately, I think we've run out of time today.
Shame.
Right, we will be back with some more episodes soon, including our first sporting episode dropping soon. However,
I will not be there.
yes, Cass doesn't do the sporting episodes.
And I'm not there either, so
Yeah, we'll be with. I'm assuming that these go out in order, but assuming the next one goes out in order, Jeter will be back. And Michael will be on for his first episode. Anyway, it's been a lot of fun. Cass, Eloise, thank you. Thank you for loosely managing to wrangle your small humans. And anyway, please drop a like on the video, a subscribe if you haven't already. Reach out to us on social media and let us know what you think. Until next time, remember... Be big mystics, not big mistakes. I will see you all very, very soon.